Hey everyone, Evan Jones with you here for another edition of the RPAC Rundown Podcast. This week on the podcast, head coach of the Cambridge girls basketball team, Clay Shepard, will join us. As always, be sure to check out rpacrundown.com and social media for all kinds of great content. Of course, the RPAC Rundown Podcast is brought to you by a bunch of great sponsors like Arapahoe Rehab and Fitness, Cambridge Supermarket, Dundee County Hospital and Quality Healthcare, Webb's Oilfield Service, Onyx Native, and C+. We'll take a break. Be right back. Welcome back to the RPAC Rundown Podcast. You may have noticed in recent months that we have a really cool piece of content we have been doing, brought to you by Acme Printing Company in McCook. We have been interviewing students who are involved in the arts, whether that's music, play, art, etc. We have been chatting with students to see what's going on the arts side of education. It's been a lot of fun to do and great to have a partner like Acme Printing Company on this. And have you checked out their website? Better check it out, acmeprint.co. You can order online. They do so many things like marketing products, stationery, direct mailings, signage, promotional products, storefront and vehicle graphics, and more. So be on the lookout for those interviews as we roll them out. Now joining us on the RPAC Rundown Podcast is Clay Shepard, head coach of the Cambridge girls basketball team. Well, coach, a couple weeks into the season, how practice has been going so far?
Yeah, they've been going really good. I've been really excited about how the girls have retained the information from this summer. We installed a lot of our stuff in summer camp, and I've been really pumped about how they just kind of picked up where they left off from the summer, and just really excited about that. And just the energy that these girls bring, it makes it really fun to come to practice every day. They got a lot of high expectations, high goals, and they know that work and practice is what's going to help them accomplish those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Now last year, coach the boys team, shot a lot of 3-pointers, which that was just kind of really more or less the roster you had. That was what they were really good at. And so this year it's a little bit different. Not only is it a different team, but it's girls basketball versus boys basketball. What are some strengths maybe on offense for your group coming into the year?
Yeah, we're going to play the same, offense, same style as we did with the boys. Mm-hmm. But like you said, our big strength last year with the boys was shooting three. Mm-hmm. I think our big strength this year is probably our post play. I think Mallory, Springer is one of the best players in the conference. I think we have other girls we can have down there on the block who can make plays. So I would say we're going to say the same offense name as we ran with the boys. It's going to look a lot different because of how we're going to get the ball where we want it to go. The inside out threes are still going to be there. They're going to come off post ups instead of off drives. And there's going to be more just one girl catching on the block and making a post move. That wasn't really something that we did a ton of last year. We're still going to look to play fast though. I would say we're still going to shoot a lot of threes. It's modern basketball is 3 is worth more than 2, and if you can get a good inside out look, then it's worth shooting. I do think we have some good shooters on our team, but yeah, it's not going to be, I think it was 27 a game last year is what we shot. It's probably not going to be 27 a game with the girls.
Yeah, no. Now, defensive side, without divulging too much, I know there's not tape out yet, so you got that advantage right now, Coach. Yeah. But what are you looking to maybe do on the defensive side?
The biggest thing is just being multiple. I think, if you have one thing that's on film and that's, everyone knows that's what you're going to do, they can prepare really well for it. I think in the past we've been really good man-to-man defensive team, and we've just hung our hat on that, and we've done that. I do think a big advantage. I don't know why necessarily, but just watching a lot of girls basketball, I think that having multiple things you can go to throughout the game or throughout the year is really important. And so that's going to be something we're going to try to do is, play 2 or 3 defenses a night. And if something's working, stick with it. But if we need to change it up, be a little more flexible and change it up a little bit more than we have in the past.
Now, you've got a lot of leadership. You mentioned Mallory Springer, Aspen Webb, and I don't want to leave anyone out. Elizabeth Kubik played a lot of minutes, the Holtz twins, so on and so forth. What kind of luxury is that for you as a coach to have a lot of players that have played a lot of basketball?
Yeah, it's a huge luxury. That's exactly right. I would kind of experience as one of our main strengths right now. Just a ton of girls who've played a lot of varsity basketball. Basically all of them since their freshman year have been playing, whether it's Aspen or Mallory, the juniors, the Holtzes, Elizabeth, even Annabelle Taylor's played a lot of basketball. She's come off the bench her whole career, but she's played a lot of basketball. And then we have some younger girls who we're going to count on, and just having that that core where they've played a ton is going to help those younger girls adapt and just filter in a lot smoother. And we've seen that in practice. They grab those girls, they coach them up. You saw it on the volleyball court all fall, how they did that with the younger girls. So I'm really excited about that. Just very natural leaders, very much lead by example, but also not afraid to, hey, this drill's not going good, girls. We need to figure it out. Coach said this, we need to make sure we're doing that. It's another luxury. It's like with the experience being a luxury. That leadership is a luxury, where it's not just Coach McDonald and I saying things. We have other girls who are stepping up and doing that too.
Yeah, that's great. Now you got 2 tough opponents to start with, Hitchcock County and then Dundee County Stratton. Just take me through, what are you going to have to do well against both of those opponents? Yeah,
I think the first thing, is handling the pressure. Both those teams are going to press, in different ways, but Hitchcock has a lot of length and some athleticism, and then Dundee County has a lot of athleticism and some length. So we got to make sure we're strong with the ball. Just need to see passes before we throw them. Going back to the Jamboree game, we were just doing a lot of getting a little bit sped up, and then we assumed someone was there and they weren't. We threw it. So we've been working on that quite a bit since last Tuesday. So that's going to be huge. If we can get it in the half court, like I said, I would really love to see Mallory get 25 post touches, get Elizabeth a few post touches, get some of those inside out shots in the half court. But both those teams are going to try to speed us up. We know that. They're both really good at it. Both of them obviously beat us last year to start the year, and it's a great kind of litmus test for us, just coming off of, I think we're on practice 11 tomorrow morning, coming off of 11 practices. Where are we at? What exactly do we need to get better at? The Jamboree exposes some of those things, but when the ball goes up and it counts for real, some things start to show up that maybe you didn't think were going to show up. And so it's a great great test, but also great kind of, it exposes things is what we need, and we need to figure out what we need to get better at, soon.
Yep, very good. Well, thanks for the time, Coach, and good luck this season.
Absolutely. Thanks.
That will do it for this week's episode of the RPAC Rundown Podcast. Be on the lookout for Athletes of the Week, brought to you by First Central Bank. We need to thank great sponsors of the podcast like First Central Bank, Cross Diamond Cattle Company, Tri-Valley Medical Foundation, and Prairie Girl Candle Company. We are gearing up for the winter sports season. It starts this week. We're excited about it. We look forward to seeing you at places that we are doing coverage at. So thanks a bunch for tuning in. We will catch you later.